Thank you for listening to Lone Star Community Radio. This program was broadcasted and recorded live from the LSCR studios in downtown Conroe, Texas. Lone Star Community Radio is supported by listeners like you. Donate and sponsor today. For more information on getting involved with Lone Star Community Radio, contact us at lscrstudios@gmail.com or visit us online at www.irlonestar.com. You're listening to Mornings at Lone Star here at Lone Star Community Radio, Montgomery County's community radio station. We are live on Mornings at Lone Star. That means we're going to be on YouTube too, so go visit our channel at Lone Star Community Radio because I have a special guest. We have the folks from the Players Theater Company in the studio. They're wrapping up this year's season, and we're going to be talking about the last show along with what's coming up next season, and especially their big fundraiser show, which is the Rocky Horror Show, which is always enjoyable. So in the studio with me, I have Cindy Siple. I got that one. And then we also have Elijah Washington in the studio. What is going on, guys? Y'all doing all right?
Yeah, doing great. You're happy to be here.
Yeah?
For sure.
How happy?
It's Wednesday morning early, and I got out of bed.
I know, me too.
Happy.
I was surprised I got out of bed this early, but we're doing Mornings with Lone Star.
Yeah.
One thing I want to give folks, any links below has to do with the Players Theater Company. So basically, for tickets, to volunteer, to be an actor or an actress or a stagehand or whatever they're called, it's all right there. I'll put it below. So if we're talking too much about stuff, we'll make people understand that the links below are for the Players Theater Company. And then we also have Elijah Washington is kind of a special guy over here because you're with Education for Tomorrow's Alliance.
Yeah.
And if people don't know who what that organization is, it is a nonprofit organization here in the Montgomery County area that they round up students who want to intern at specific fields that the kids are interested in. And it's a great program to get involved in. So if you have a student, ask them if they know what EFTA is, and then you follow the Yellow Brick Road after that, right?
Yeah.
And then, but you wanted to do something about like advertising and things like that. So that's a perfect fit for a nonprofit like the Players Theater Company because they need all the help they can get.
Yeah.
Because nonprofits usually don't have, the brightest minds.
Yeah.
So now I got you. I got you there right there. But no, I love the Players Theater Company. So let me ask you something, Elijah. I was thinking about this when Cindy reached out. When you approach EFTA, I know you kind of fill out some paperwork and you kind of say, this is what I kind of want to do. And then they go, here's the Players Theater Company, have some fun. Did you have any idea about what community theater was at the time?
No.
You didn't? See, I didn't either until this radio station was across the street from the Owen. And it blew my mind how many people dedicate hours and hours and hours to basically art. And my mind was blown because I couldn't do that. I remember one time they were sitting there like, hey, can you do the audio for, it was one of the singing plays about a boat, had a boat somewhere.
Anything Goes?
It might have been.
Could have been.
It's something other South Pacific. Is that
South
a
Pacific.
singing one?
I bet it was because that was around the time you were there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll go, oh, that sounds interesting. I know how to do that stuff. And then they're like, oh yeah, we're gonna need you to be here like from like 6 to 10 for 8 weeks or something like that. And I'm like, no. No.
Wait, be careful because Elijah has actually volunteered to do lighting for Private Lives, so don't scare him too much.
No,
yet.
no, that's lighting.
Not quite
I
as
was
big
doing
as mine.
sound.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
true.
So, and I was
For a musical.
Oh.
and I was like, I really don't want to have that pressure. Plus, at the time, I think I was in my 20s, and I was like, I'm not, no. But I did volunteer. I was on the board, so there you go. So, something, eat that.
You
all
do
right.
what you can.
I did what I can. That's all I can do.
Which is kind of a great thing about our organization.
Oh yeah,
there's
always a place for somebody there.
Exactly. I talk. It's a nonprofit.
Yeah.
And so I go out and when I talk about it, our company, we've been around since 1967. So 59 years going on 60 next.
Yep.
Our 59th season is coming up in August, and then 60 will be the next year. But when I talk to people about us being a nonprofit, there's so many nonprofits that they serve communities of people that are in great need. You have veterans and foster kids and so many nonprofits that reach those needs, which is incredible. And our community needs them. But the unique thing about us as a nonprofit is like, we can serve anybody and everybody. It's all the come as you are. We'll give you something to do if you have something in mind you want to do, if you have a talent or a skill.
If you want to break stuff.
If you want to break stuff, there's record breaking in this next play. Yeah.
Well, not even that. It's more the breakdown. I always enjoy the breakdowns.
The strikes.
Yeah, strikes.
Yeah, and we have this cool partnership with company K1 at Texas A&M, and the cadets come down when they can for the last show. They stand behind in the back in their uniforms and watch the show. And then as soon as the last audience member leaves, they go up on the stage and help us break
that has something to do
down.
with Mark?
It does, Mark Wilson.
Yeah. That guy's so weird.
And Mark,
in a good way. Like he just knows his brain thinks totally different from other people, and it's just like
Elijah met Mark.
Okay, you'll when you observe him, you're gonna be like, something's going on with this guy.
And the wealth of knowledge that he has. Fun fact every day.
Yeah, something's always going on
but
with that guy.
Cool thing about Mark is just this past year, he won a national award with the American Association for Community Theaters.
And I want to say when I got introduced to you guys, he was just starting with it. Like I think he did his first, I think I saw him in his first play.
Yeah, The King and I was his first play.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
With Baldwin. What's his name? Last name?
Jeff
Baldwin.
Yeah, Jeff Baldwin from the Renaissance.
Yeah, I remember watching that. I took my mom to see that one.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when my mom started becoming a season ticket holder because she goes, she loves plays, and she goes with her sister all the time. They have season tickets to like Theater Under the Stars. Mm-hmm. There's another one down there in Houston because we're from Houston.
Alley,
the Alley Theater. Mm-hmm. And they always go see the plays. I think it's like every other month. There's 3 months they go to a play, and then she's like, I don't have to drive all the way to Houston to see.
And free parking.
Yeah.
And great restaurants.
Well, they have free parking down there.
Shh,
they're fancy.
Don't tell people that.
Yeah. But no, she was just amazed at the quality of it, and it really is because that's what blew my mind. I was like, this is cool. I like this a lot more than going to the Alley Theater because it's more comfortable. I'm more comfortable at the Alley Theater than dealing with Houston. Houston's insane.
For sure.
But yeah, that's really funny, Mark. Congratulations, Mark.
Yeah. And Elijah and his mom started off coming to Little Shop of Horrors. So they came and saw the show. That was kind of his first induction into it.
I got to ask you something, Cindy, because I always wondered how, because I was a part of the board, so I kind of understand the idea of selecting the plays. But if there's some under the table dealings with that, there's got to be.
Under the table with who?
Well, like there's got to be a person who's like wants to be their favorite play. And it's like, how do I make sure the Players Theater Company selects this play that I get to direct?
Yeah, directors can submit plays that they're interested in directing.
Then they have like an envelope underneath with like maybe some cash.
We have a big black box.
Okay. With some cash, and it's like, pick this one. Yeah. Now, I always wondered that because y'all's every season's a little different, and y'all have some wild ones sometimes. I'm like, what the heck is that? And then, like when I saw,
there's a wild one coming up this season too.
When I saw Noel Coward's, he did a Brief Encounter, and I really liked. That's probably my favorite one, my probably top 2 films of all time. And I was like, I always wanted.
Noel Coward is brilliant.
Yeah, he's it's kind of weird. Because that was during the World War II era time. Right, if I remember correctly, right? Because I think he served.
Yep.
And in England, so he did some crazy stuff. But you're going to be doing the lighting, Elijah?
Yeah. I was originally going to do the sound since I volunteered to do it at my church.
Yeah.
And I already have like experience with it.
Yeah.
But they already found the sound, so I'm going to learn how to do the light board.
Yeah.
Add to his.
Isn't that the most boring thing ever?
He hasn't done it yet. Like, no, it's not.
No, it's fun. What I love about doing it is being up in that booth. That's so cool to see the crowd below you, and then work with the actors and the actresses and the director, and then it's all. And what I love is just everyone takes it so serious. There's no way I could survive in that environment, because I remember one time I forgot what play it was, but they were setting up the musical. They had like a live band in the side room, and they were making this big deal about not going in there. And I was like, that's the only way to get to the booth.
There's no other way.
There's no other way. But me not being familiar with the whole place, I walked around the whole thing trying to find another way into the booth. I was like, they told me not to go in there. Can't go in there. Got to figure this out. I'll figure this out. I don't have to figure out things.
Rappel.
Yeah, I was like, I went outside. I was like, is there like a ladder
From
thing?
the roof?
I don't really know. And then finally, I forgot who I went up to. I'm like, I'm going to sound like an idiot. How do I get to the booth without going into that room? And like, you can't. I'm like, well, they told me not to go in there. They're doing something. I'm like, well, you got to go in there. And then, of course, everyone gives you those looks. You know, they're like, who's this person? You're not supposed to be in here. And you're going up this like steel stair, circular stair, making all this noise. Like, I'm not here, guys.
Ducking underneath all the pipes.
All the pipes. Like, I'm not here, guys. Just ignore me. God, that was so much fun. But yeah, you're gonna have so much fun, man. Especially that play is gonna be. I mean, that's gonna be easy. That's gonna be easy. It's like a 1-room play, isn't it? Isn't it basically? Or I guess it's 2 rooms.
2 rooms, yeah, 2 hotel rooms, and
yeah.
then the outside too. Yeah, 3 acts.
Yeah, that's gonna be fun, and you're gonna do great. You're gonna do great. And so, well, I was learning a little bit more about Elijah before we got on the air, and I'm sorry, let me back that up. Sorry, my brain gets ahead of sometimes. You're currently attending what high school?
Conroe High School.
Conroe High School, and you're interested in advertising.
Yeah. And
Okay.
marketing.
And marketing, and that's the Players Theater Company. Great.
Yeah,
place to learn.
You worked with Yearbook.
Yeah. Since.
When you say yearbook, what the heck is that? You mean like the yearbook at the school?
Yearbook,
Okay.
yeah.
I thought that was something totally different. I'm surprised they haven't done yearbook as like a digital thing.
Do they do that?
They have like the option to do like a digital yearbook, but like since like everyone wants like a physical copy, we still do it.
Yeah, well, that's what, because it's one of those things that people, like one thing I never learned was I never went to a school where yearbook was like a class. And
is it a class at Conroe?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know that either.
no, it's they do the whole thing.
Oh, wow.
From cover to, they design the cover to cover. The whole thing is put on by students. So you got to imagine all the information you have to gather. And how many pages is the average yearbook at Conroe High School? Like 200 pages?
Around 300.
300? Yeah, because I'm always impressed with this because a lot of people don't realize when they say, hey, we have yearbook class, I mean, they make the yearbook. It's not someone, the teacher might, be there, but the kids are doing it. They're not the ones taking the pictures of the students, though, I don't think. That's why I always...
Well, we do, yeah.
Y'all do the photography now?
Yeah.
Really? So it's not some, like, creepo dude coming in?
We work with all, like, the district photographers and
Okay.
everyone who takes the pictures for Conroe ISD. But at Conroe, we have, like, different staffs where each student does something. Like, there's photo staff where they do all the photos, and then we have a layout, which does the usual placing in of the photos.
Yeah, what software do they use?
Adobe.
InDesign? Is it InDesign?
InDesign,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm familiar with that. Yeah. I didn't have yearbook class, but I still learned. I was like, I got to learn what they don't teach me here. So that's cool. See, you're a lucky guy to be at the Players Theater Company. Really, because you're gonna learn so much with them.
We've been everything from writing press releases.
Have they given you the corner sign yet?
The corner, no.
The what?
Yeah, it's a big old arrow that points to Owen, and you're supposed to be on the corner flipping it around.
Hey, that's marketing.
Yeah, it's
right?
marketing,
Yeah,
right?
That is marketing.
That's the first thing I would make you do if I was in charge. I'd be like, Elijah, you're out there when the temperature gauge hits 93. You're outside. And then you're gonna learn how we do it here on Metcalf Street.
That's right. That's right. All the traffic running by.
I love it.
For sure. We're still trying to get that marquee fixed up. I don't know if it's like playing Wordle sometimes. You try. To figure out
I every time I walked by it, I always imagine that like there's a backstory to why like some of the things are messed up, and because it's kind of like one of those charming things now in downtown where it's kind of like Back to the Future when the lightning strikes the clock tower,
right,
and there are certain elements of the downtown that have changed, so it's like a bird hit it,
yeah,
and no one ever wanted to, like, they think it's bad luck if we fix it now,
Right, it
or
was
something like
Raven,
that.
I think is the story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that real? A bird hit it?
No.
Because that's all.
I was just going with it.
Oh, no, I was just thinking. I was like, because theater people are so superstitious. That's why I was like, oh, they're never gonna fix that because they haven't fixed it, and if they fix it, it's gonna curse the Owen. And there's some, blah 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 blah, and something's gonna happen, and someone's always gonna be blaming it. And that happens. It's like there are certain words you're not allowed to say. Learn that one.
Yeah, the very first play I ever did with this company, which at the time were the Crichton Players,
Yeah.
is a play that you can't say in the theater. So
Why do you
when
have to
people
age
say-
yourself like that?
Because
Is that like
history,
is that a clout thing?
tradition, something like that.
Like who remembers the Crichton
No,
Players?
that's so you can say to me, "Wait, you can't be that old." That's
Well, that's what
why.
I'm saying. I was like, well,
I was fishing for a compliment
yeah.
there. Is what I
That's
was
true.
doing.
Well, I grew up around here when we played dominoes when there wasn't
At
any.
Tallies.
Yeah, when there's no alcohol. It's Prohibition era. That's when I grew up. Downtown has a lot of great history to it.
Yeah, well, the Players used to own Tallies down.
Really?
Yeah.
So
right
you
next
guys,
door.
so they were
And now
doing
it's
all the
Red Brick
illegal
Tavern.
stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh.
How do you think we got started?
That's true. Bad people, theater people are wild, man.
Well, that's for another show. That whole history, though, right?
Yeah, I love it. And I think what I really want to know what Elijah's thinking is, do you want to do advertising and media? So I imagine they're getting you because you always have the playbill. That's like a famous thing for.
Yeah.
Can you even use the word playbill? Is that like a trademark?
No,
It's
well,
not.
it
Why do I
probably-
feel? Why do I feel like it's
probably
trademarked?
But there are a lot of theaters that do playbill across the top, so there must be some kind of
Like Universal,
tolerance to
okay.
that.
Well, because that's one thing I learned with the nonprofit of the Players Theater Company. Like, they can have these great named shows at. It's not expensive because they're nonprofits,
Yeah.
and so there's a special depending on what you do. Depending on what you do.
Oh, you mean like the royalties?
Yes.
We don't get a cut on royalties.
You don't get a cut at all?
No. Royalties, well, royalties, scripts, music, that package together is sometimes $12,000.
Oh, I know. I definitely know because I remember learning that, but I was
But
like,
being like an amateur rather
yeah,
than
that's
a
what it is.
professional. Yeah,
That's what
yeah.
it is. It's like if
called
you're
amateur.
the Alley Theater,
Correct.
they're paying.
Yeah,
like,
if you're a professional equity theater, you're paying a different price.
yeah,
for
that's
sure.
what I meant.
Mhm.
So never mind the nonprofit status.
I wish they gave us a nonprofit discount, but
No, because we ran into that when we did the radio plays.
oh yes, that's right.
And so we used to do like live radio plays with Foley
Yeah.
tables and everything. It was really
Talia
cool.
well, I don't think Burke ever did them, but I know Talia and
Yeah,
Logan did them.
Yeah, Burke, he never does anything.
We're still working on it.
I know, I'm just kidding. But no, we used to do that, and then we had to find certain ones that were free use. Because radio plays have been around since, I don't know, the 20s, I think, around the 20s or something like that. And we wanted to do World of Worlds. War of the Worlds. Did I say it right? Yes. And when we had to track down whoever owned the rights to it, because that's how it became famous, was on the radio. And yeah, we had to track it down, and we had to explain our situation. We were a nonprofit, So he came up with some like made up price, like $200 or something like that. And I remember going like, all that trouble for $200 because it took, I don't know, 4 months to find the right person to talk to. And I'm like, we should have just done it and see what they would have done. Yeah, that's usually ask forgiveness kind of thing.
Yeah.
But you guys don't. Y'all are very
We don't do
professional at the
that.
Owen
We
Theater.
We do.
Speaking of which, if you want to advertise in the playbill, we got to call Elijah, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
There you go. Okay.
Yeah. I'm like, it's a pretty good deal.
Hey, you're going to give me your cell phone. I'm going to put it on the description below. And you're single, right?
Yeah.
And how old are you?
17.
17. Look at that.
Yeah. Up and coming.
I'll put his
too.
cell phone number. Wink. But I'm just having fun. But has that been an interesting kind of perspective of selling ad space in a playbill?
Yeah.
And like it's unique to me because most times when people are doing advertising, it's like, oh yeah, we have this TV package that you get 15 seconds, 20 seconds, but we also have an online streaming package. And but here's like it's a playbill. We're 6 shows a year. This is what you get. This is how many people come to the theater. This is how many eyes are potentially on it. And they gotta be really creative with the ads too, because I remember that's like the first thing I do when I sit down. I read all the playbills because I'm like, what the hell is this show? Like, what is this? And then the ads gotta be like very catchy for me to be like, oh, I like that one. I like that one.
Yeah, and it's a good captive audience.
Yeah.
Because you sit down before the show and you're waiting for the show. So what are you doing? You're looking through the playbills.
Yeah.
So it's a good way to get people's eyes on it. And we have over 15,000 that come through a season.
Oh yeah,
So,
there's always a ton of people.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's hilarious to be in downtown Conroe when the show gets out because
Mhm.
it's just people, and you're like, what just happened?
Exactly.
And then
Or
and
you'll
then
drive down and the parking lots are all full.
Yeah.
Yeah.
pisses me off all the time. I'm like, oh, there must be a play tonight.
Oh, there's a play. A
I'm
play
just
or
kidding.
a parade.
I'm just kidding, but yeah. So what? Because the ads, I always remember that because it's a good idea to have ads in there, but then it's also like you have to be creative because everyone's like a realtor, right? And so like, how do you make an ad pop out in a playbill? I think what I would do if it were me, like say Lone Star, like say hypothetically, I'm buying an ad, I would put my face in it as if I was one of the actors. Like because everyone has their headshots.
Put your
okay.
headshot in your
And
bio
I have
in
I have
there.
like the skull, or like whatever,
Mhm.
like the Hamlet or skull, and it would say my name and it would say my business, but it says the best actor at the Owen Theater.
They'd
and-
be like, I want to see him.
Yeah, like is he in this play?
Yeah,
And
let's
then-
look for him.
Yeah, and every oh, that would be so good.
Okay, well, there you go. You just give
Yeah.
somebody an idea for an ad.
Yeah, that's how you get people.
Call Elijah.
I mean,
Yeah.
Like I can, we do like make ads for the yearbook like as well. It's
Yeah.
it's kind of
You
like
definitely
the
do.
playbook.
Oh yeah.
So
Oh, so you already have experience, and you're 17, more experience than me. No, I'm
Mhm.
just kidding. That's awesome, dude.
And fundraising too. He worked with fundraising with the yearbook. I was
Yeah.
the playbill. No, the yearbook. The big playbill for Conroe High. They have a big one, and
Oh, for the plays?
fundraising for the yearbook.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I will technically be just like ads. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's what do kids still take ads out or parents
Yeah.
for their kids?
yeah, senior ads.
Yeah.
It's like highest like $400.
Did you ever deny anybody? And what was it for?
It was
Because I remember those stories. They would deny because it's like
yeah.
silly or
Like our editor in chief.
Is your editor in chief a student?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
She didn't. She couldn't put an ad in with her ex-boyfriend because they would be right next to each other.
Oh, see, I like that. I like that. You just called her out too. Way to go, dude. No, I remember one of my buddies in high school. He'd always do his portraits like insane. Like one year we're in line, we didn't get a portrait. He went into the bathroom real quick, got his hair all wet, and did like spikes, and then he did like a face like this, and like it got to the point where the guy was like, "All right, just go," and they wouldn't put him in for the senior because for the senior deal he had all of his goofy photos he took throughout they wouldn't put it in because it was like the integrity of the yearbook, and it was
What about creativity and
oh
expression?
no, it was so funny. That was
He needs to come to the theater. He can put his hair up.
Yeah. That's one thing I encourage folks who are listening never been involved with, because Mark's a great example.
Mhm.
Mark Wilson
Mhm.
is he's never really been involved with theater until after retirement from
Yeah.
basically. And I encourage anyone to come up and check it out because it is something that if you really have that creative bug, it's a great outlet.
Absolutely.
So
And you're working with people from all different places.
probably
all
the most
walks of
difficult
life.
people to ever work with.
Yeah, they're
Hard headed, but you'll develop a bond.
tough.
That's what's important.
Yeah, absolutely. Between all the fighting and all that kind of
Yeah.
no, it's an amazing community. It's a family. It really truly
You
is.
guys
I know when
lucked
people say
out.
that.
Getting Elijah,
Mhm.
that's insane. He's already experienced. He's
He's already
17,
experienced.
and all he has to do is tell the people, think about the children. Think about the children.
In the future.
Yeah,
Think about the future.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, that's the thing to me that's exciting. Even just to be involved with EFTA and things like this
Yeah.
is really, there are so many people in this area that even though we've been here since 1967, don't know who we are and what we do. And
That's because y'all change your names all the time.
Well, yeah, hopefully never,
yeah,
not
stop.
anymore.
Quit changing your names over there, and
Well, we had to move.
Well,
We
yeah.
moved. And we learned that. That's why we're not the Owen Players. We're the Players Theater Company at the Owen Theatre.
Yeah, it's
So,
true.
Otherwise it would have been.
Yeah, see, I always thought about, like, I really wanted to screw with downtown. If I was, like, a wealthy dude, I'd be like, hey, I want to save the Crichton. I'll give you your, $20 million, but you got to rename it. And then just see what, like, the pandemonium that would happen. And they're like, what do you want to name it?
You'd have to scrape off the concrete there at the top.
Yeah, oh no, we're gonna, whatever they need, but we're renaming it. And then I don't know what I would rename it. I would come up with some way to piss people off. That's what I'd try to do. But I like both theaters, to be honest. I want to say they finally updated the Crichton where you can go use the restroom. Because they had the restroom without going upstairs.
Yeah.
I remember that. I was like, this is kind of wild.
Yeah, that's
But I think they totally fixed it. Actually, I have been there because the Young Texas Artist is there. And I remember going, and they put TVs out of what's happening on stage. And I was like, this is better. I'd rather be out here.
You just sat out there.
Yeah, I just sat out here. And at the time, my girlfriend comes out, and it's like, what are you doing? I'm like, the AC's better here. I'm like, it's right there. I can hear it perfectly. We're good. And the bathroom's right there. I'm good.
You got your spot.
I got my spot.
Yeah, there are definitely two different experiences with the theater.
Yeah.
I know. Like ours is a little more intimate.
Like
a little more open as far as that. Not a bad seat in the house, which is really a cool thing. No matter where you're sitting, you're going to get a good spot. And
you can sit close to the stage too.
You sit close to the stage.
That's
you
cool.
feel like
you feel like every seat's close to. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I've been on that stage.
We got those big aisles, which is my favorite because when you come and try to seat somebody, if they come a little late or if somebody had to leave for a little bit and come back, it's like you're not on top of each other, and comfortable. It's just a comfortable,
I like it.
Intimate.
The AC works there.
The AC works. The sound is good.
And they serve alcohol.
We actually got just a new assisted sound system where you can do it through your phone. And just put in your earbuds or whatever.
Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah, it's a nice little system. Makes it a lot easier.
Yeah, because like if Elijah's on stage, I'm like, what did you say? I can barely hear you, man.
Yeah.
You'll come out of that shell.
He already has. Yeah. He's been speaking at a lot of different events.
Oh wow, yeah. You've been keeping him busy with that through.
Chamber events and nonprofit events, and that's what I said. We've been driving all over town.
He's
lived through my driving all over town.
Well, yeah. When I had some EFTA students, I always enjoyed it, but unfortunately, with how the station operates, we're never like consistent with doing stuff because shows are like all over the place. But I remember I went to a chamber event, and it was really weird to me because everyone else brought their EFTA student, so I was like, I felt like I was in the FAA. Showing off my sheep, and it's like mine's better than yours, and then like you're just going around, and it's just so fun. It's so fun. It's a great organization. I love it, but it's like that was really surreal to me to be in a room with like 40 adults and then 40 high schoolers, and it's like this is weird. What are we doing here?
Yeah,
and
yeah, the connection's really cool.
Is that because I had Talia through EFTA. Was it EFTA?
It was EFTA and the Academy.
Okay.
Yeah, at Conroe High. So.
Well, you kind of strong-armed me. I remember, I think it was you
that
you're like, hey, she wants to, she needs some credits.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, I'll sign off. I don't care. She doesn't have to come in. I don't need her. I don't want to be bothered. But,
I was like, no, you don't understand. We need her to be somewhere else. No.
And I'm like, okay.
She's a handful. She's a lot.
No, it's great. No, it's what's one thing I always love about what we do here with the radio station is because we're hands-on only.
Right.
So I might let you do some grunt work, which is just kind of like listening to certain songs. They don't say bad words, and we can put them on the radio and stuff like that. But then I was like, everyone that comes in, like, what do you want to do?
Yeah.
Do you want to just do like, audio production? Do you want to make your own show? Do you want to do graphical stuff? And so that's why I like having interns here. It's like
I think that was the best thing about it for her and for Brandon, who was with her, was that, having that ability to say, what do I want to do? How do I want to do it?
Yeah. Because I'm not helping you.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and then as they were doing it, it evolved.
Yeah.
They started to add those little things. I remember the Ask Dad. That was probably my favorite. And just those kinds of little things where, hey, well, let's try this and let's try that, and then things start to really evolve into something a lot bigger than they were to begin with. And in that case, with those kinds of things, and when you do things like internships and stuff like that, really gives you that ability to realize that, you have a vision for something, but it doesn't always end up that way.
Mhm.
And sometimes it can be bigger than you thought it could be. And so I think that sort of maybe encouragement or motivation is really
Well, the most
good.
important part, what she just said, is always remember how much money can I make from this.
Exactly. Yeah.
So you always got to make sure it's your money, right? But you're very lucky, Elijah, to be with the Players Theater Company, mainly just through the whole experience and the different weirdos. Like, everyone's so different with the Players Theater Company, and I'm amazed at the age groups and all that kind of stuff, and then especially the history, because it's been around for almost your 60th.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little about that, because I've been making fun of you guys for a little too much. So let's talk about right now. It's the 12th. So is the Private Lives still going on?
Private Lives opens on June 20th.
June 20th.
June 20th.
So you can get your tickets now.
Get your tickets now. Come see Elijah in the booth.
That's going to be a lot of fun. It's a great play.
Noel Coward comedy.
I like simple plays. That's why I like this one.
It is.
So because when there's
very
too much,
witty,
yeah,
Noel
it's
Coward
all
is
about the people. It's all about the dialogue. I'm a big
and relationships.
I love that
between
kind of
them.
stuff. And I always love tragedies.
Oh.
That's why I like Brief Encounter.
Mhm.
I've always wanted to have an affair and just be a bad person, but then it's like you're still sad. No, I'm just kidding. No, but
Well, there you go. Experience of live theater is like you put yourself in that position. And like,
yeah,
there's
I love
that
it.
dynamic and energy, and you feel like you've been through it, but you really
when I saw
haven't.
the line in winter there,
Mhm.
that really blew my mind because I didn't know too much about it.
Mhm.
I think I might have listened to something about it, but when I saw the line in winter, it's not a Shakespeare,
No.
but it's based off of
Same time period.
same time period. I'm
Mhm.
trying to remember it'll come to me, but it's very simple. Like, it was just people on the stage talking and then scheming and things like that, and it's just that's it. Like, there's not a lot of anything to it. So Private Lives opens up the 20th. That's
Mhm.
wonderful. And then you have your big fundraiser, which is like an annual thing. Y'all do a big show. Is it always
Right.
the Rocky Horror Show?
Not always.
Yeah.
No. Last year it was, and we had so many people that were like, "You've got to do this again. You've got to do this again." So I think that was one of the factors.
We don't
in
want to
deciding
water
to
it
do
down.
again. No, it's an amazing
Okay.
experience. I'll say an amazing
Uh-huh.
show, and it's for a particular audience. It's
Is it?
not necessarily for everybody.
Yeah, actually,
Because it's a little risque, a little,
so that-
out of the.
you guys have done some different types of plays,
Mhm,
and I
mhm.
always wonder I wonder what kind of fan mail, or what do you call it, like anti-fan mail they
yeah,
get.
that all goes through me.
Yeah, I always wonder because I remember you did a play. I don't know if it was about a gay person or something like
La
that.
Caja Fall?
But I remember someone saying something on the internet about it. I'm like, well,
Mhm.
don't go. Like, what are we talking about here?
Right.
And I was like, is this
Well, and people can always call and ask. We have people calling and asking, "Hey, is this appropriate for this age?
Children,
or is this
yeah.
appropriate for this?"
I don't
you
think I've
know.
ever done. Well, I guess some of the themes might not be appropriate for like 10-year-olds.
Yeah, not all our shows
Yeah.
are appropriate for kids for sure. And
Well, it does
sometimes-
confuse people because you'll do like the Little Mermaid, and then the
Right.
next show will be something about suicide.
Yeah,
so it's like
well, and that's theater, really.
Yeah.
Just taking all and being able to reach all the audiences. And that's
I love it.
pretty much what I tell people when they're upset about a play. And like I said, encourage people always
That's
to
a strong move
look
to
at
be
a play
upset.
before they come. Well, there are some.
That's
that
what I'm saying. It's a
do.
strong move.
Yeah.
Like, if I really want to voice my opinion, as I'm upset they are doing a play at a
Mhm.
community theater,
Mhm.
I'd be like, hey man, go outside, touch some grass, like go figure. You got some other problems, like real problems.
Right. But just the thought that it's not everything we do is for everybody necessarily, but we have things that we do that are for everybody.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Probably
You're
not.
trying to protect your butt right there.
Yeah,
I
I
guess you
guess
cover
so.
your butt. Yeah.
I guess so.
Well, I think also people, especially with the theater world,
Mm-hmm.
because now we're hitting generations where people grew up in the movie world,
Mm-hmm.
and then now it's the influence world. People don't really know any of these plays,
Right.
so they don't know how creative and just kind of like, that's what I love about Noel Coward. Like, you learn so much about people because they feel real. Like, they like when you read his stuff and watch his stuff, you're like, oh, these were like real people probably. And I like the layers.
Exactly. This past Saturday, we had Baytown Little Theater. We invited them to come and perform their Tuesdays with Maury. They have used it as a competition first at Texas Network of Theaters. Regionally, they won, and then they went to Albuquerque, New Mexico. They did the play. They won the Southwest region, and then now they're going on to compete nationally with the one act of Tuesdays with Maury. So they're trying to raise money to be able to make those trips and things like that. So we invited them up here to do a fundraising kind of performance where people could just pay what they could coming in, and really realizing being able to sit there as an audience member and not having to do anything with regard to the operations of it or anything, but being able to sit there and experience what those two men were doing on stage was incredibly impactful. I mean, I was crying. I was touched my heart.
I always wondered about that, because when you're a theater person, Cindy, and I'm not necessarily a theater person, but I've seen, I don't know, 30 plays, 40 plays. And when you start seeing the same ones, I always wondered, like, when you start becoming a critic.
Always.
Oh, you know what I'm talking about? Because it's like, oh, I've seen The King and I 3 times. Each different actors. Like, now I'm like a professional theater person. I'm like, I know what's good. I know it's bad. And that's one thing that I like. You guys not really do the same show every year outside, I would say, the Rocky Horror Show, because that's a special fundraiser. But then I think I've been here long enough where y'all did have one repeat.
Probably. Usually maybe like 8 or so years.
Yeah. Before. And I was like, I'm going to that show because I saw that show, I don't know how long ago it was.
Want to see how they did it now?
Oh, yeah.
And different directors have different visions. That's another cool thing about it is, if you saw it somewhere else, you didn't see this play. And even with the different actors too, it's like,
every time I'm with my mother, she immediately tells me who's good or bad. And she's always like, I can't believe they have this kind of talent right here in Conroe.
It really is phenomenal. It really is.
And so, no, I go, Mom, those are just the rejects from Houston.
Yeah. Those are all of us people that can't get paid jobs,
they all the rejects. I'm just kidding. But, so what's coming up next season?
Next season's really
is it on the website? Because I put a link to the website.
It is, yeah. It's already up there on the website. You can already buy tickets for next season. We have season tickets. We have a lot of people that have already bought their season tickets. We're going to introduce Flex Pass, which is kind of cool because you're going to be able to buy like 6, 12 tickets and you can use them for whatever shows you want. So that's coming up soon too. But we're opening our season with Fiddler on the Roof, which is an incredible classic and a lot of timely issues in that show as well. But music that people will recognize and
see, this is what I love about you guys. I'm reading this right here.
Fiddler
on the Roof, August 29th, right? Oh, opening. Great. What's the next play? Carrie, the musical.
Like a little Stephen King for Halloween.
Like, what is going on? When did that become a musical?
I told you something for everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
know.
don't even know how that would be.
I look at that, I'm like,
well, see, now you got to come see how you can do it as a musical.
That's true.
Now the interest is peaked here. Elijah's like, maybe I'll do lights for that show.
A young lady covered in blood just singing her soul out. That just sounds so appealing.
There you go. Things on Fire.
Yeah.
How are we going to do that? You got to come see.
Yeah, that's true. There is some magic with the stage.
There is some magic.
And you got to see like Big Fish. I didn't even know that was a play.
Yeah, Tim Burton movie.
Yeah.
Made into
that's interesting.
Yeah, that's a good one too. And the music to that one is beautiful.
And then you got Jesus Christ Superstar and the Cherry Orchard.
Easter time. And Cherry Orchard is Chekhov. So we're talking classic theater there, but just with a different twist on it. So if people are wondering, how can you take a Russian play from years and years and years ago and make it relevant?
It's really strange. But I mean, I think that's just the quality of the writing and just how real it is. That's why it stays forever across generations, because we're still acting the same. We're still acting stupid.
Exactly. Well, and that's Russian humor is laughing at other people's, pain.
Oh, yeah. I'm okay with that. But yeah, that's a great lineup.
Well, and then we've got some special events next summer. We have we're doing Lady Day at the Emerson Bar and Grill. So for Billie Holiday fans, a little bit of jazz there, a little bit about her story and her life, which is cool. And after that, 1776, which is for the 250th
That's
anniversary.
a musical, right?
It's a musical. It sure
It's
is
about the Revolution, right?
Declaration of Independence.
Declaration of
Yeah, it
Independence.
sure is. And I've been working with the America 250 committee here in Montgomery County.
Yeah.
And so we're going to do all kinds of cool things with that show. Hopefully, the Daughters of the American Revolution and Sons of the American Revolution are going to have a little reenactment over in the park right next door to the theater. We've got lots of things going on in the community when it comes to America 250. So we're kind of working alongside them. And, that's the exact birthday of the Constitution right there, Declaration of Independence.
Well, I think people need to check out it's playerstheatercompany.com. I put the link to it. It has everything out about volunteering, auditioning for Fiddler on the Roof. I think that's coming up fairly soon.
Next week. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because that's one thing that most people don't realize is it takes a long time to do these things. They always do this way ahead of time.
3 months. 3 months ahead.
I wonder if I could grow my hair out and be Carrie. That'd be different, right?
There are all kinds of possibilities.
Yeah,
all kinds.
That's
You'd
great.
have to wash the blood out of your hair afterwards. So
that's a normal thing. That's
okay,
a week
all
to
the
week.
time.
I'm always doing it. And again, Private Lives opens June 20th. That's a wonderful play. I would encourage everyone to check it out if you want to, see the introspective of being divorced and being forced to be around your divorcee. Right? That's basically the concept.
What it's about.
And so that's great. And guys, thank you so much. Elijah, it was a pleasure to meet you.
You too.
And Elijah's doing sales for the Players Theater Company, which is a nonprofit. So I guess it's not really sales, is it? What do they call it?
Program ads. We do
Well,
for
fundraising.
us, it's sponsorships.
Sponsorships.
Yeah.
So
you can always
Elijah.
sponsor a show. Your business can sponsor a show, and then there's a lot of perks to that as well that we can tell you about.
Yeah. Thank you. And Cindy, it's always nice to see
I love
you.
being here. Thank you so much.
And you've been listening to Mornings at Lone Star here at Lone Star Community Radio. I encourage anyone who's listening who wants to be on the show, contact us. Just visit the website at irlonestar.com. We have a Contact Us tab right there, and we'll get you on a show, get you on my show. We'll have some fun. But right now, we're going to get back to the music. Thank you for tuning in to Mornings at Lone Star.